A singular lone Vothy Canton on the edge of Morrowind's most hostile remote wasteland, the Fortress of Malagmar is the only gateway to the ruinous landscape of the Malagmar region. Yet, in the vanilla game, it's little more than a carbon copy of one of the Vothy Cantons out west in the city of Vivek. It really doesn't have much of a unique appearance, aside from an open plaza, which is really just about the only thing that's truly notable about this isolated settlement. At least, that is, until now. For today's mod of the day is Ruined Malagmar by Duo Dinamico, aka Random Pal and Vegetto. A city overhaul mod that gives this remote stronghold just a more unique appearance, as is only befitting for such an isolated bastion of civilization. And as you might expect, given its location next to the holy mountains of Mount Kand and Mount Asana-Bibi, Malagmar is primarily a stronghold built to serve pilgrims, and as such has a large temple presence. But it's also home to forces from Great House Redoran and the Buoyant Homages, forces that help keep the various dangers of the Malagmar at bay. Ruined Malagmar not only gives this Vothy Canton a more unique appearance that just better suits its religious and military importance, but also adds in some more wear and tear to the canton here, with protective netting around the lower wastewicks, more defensive gates, and notably quite a few broken cobblestones, and even an optional ruined dome. After all, not only is the Malagmar home to just a variety of hostile creatures, vampires, and just other nefarious beasts, but it's also quite a volcanic and, presumably, a seismically active region, where violent ash storms often descend to batter the landscape with harsh winds. It makes sense that a settlement here would bear the scars of such an inhospitable environment. Now, some of you just may well recognize the design and style for this remaking of Malagmar, for it's actually quite similar to, and in fact based upon, a mod that we've showcased in the not-so-distant past. For it's actually based upon the town overhaul for Malagmar included in Orion's companion mod, Arvesa and Armiger's Tale, which also adds in just a lot of these ruined elements. Of course, right now, as of this recording, Arvesa is no longer available for download, as Orion is currently working on a new update, and I think that update does actually remove the changes to Malagmar. Just going into the future, this is probably going to be the only option for just keeping that ruined, appearance for Malagmar. But anyway, this is just a really scenic overhaul for Malagmar. Just replacing the Canton model entirely with a unique one, adding in the broken dome, or optionally a repaired dome with transparent glass windows, and an expanded plaza which includes some new clutter, detailing, outdoor merchants, some graffiti, and an expansion to St. Vlos Hostel with an upper level and balcony that just adds a nice bit of verticality to the plaza here. This also uses some assets from the latest update from OData, including a new ship at the Malagmar docks, a small Dunmeri vessel that just replaces the generic longboat that was there before. And I think this might actually be the first mod to use this new ship asset. But anyway, just real quick, I do want to show you what this all looks like with the restored and repaired dome. Because it makes for just quite a neat visual effect to visit the plaza underneath this rather gorgeous dome, with sunlight just streaking through the upper level of glass windows, just adding a neat element of atmospheric beauty to this dusty Velothi fortress. Of course, clouds of vapor mist will just occasionally clip through the dome here, but that's a rather minor detail. In addition, this provides just a few overhauls for the interiors of Malagmar. Notably, merging in Brandon Powell's Malagmar shop mod to just add a little tavern to the Wastewigs. So there's actually a place that sells food and drinks to go along with the tables that were here in the vanilla game. And honestly, this part blends in pretty much just seamlessly and perfectly with the vanilla aesthetic. Obviously, there's also been an interior expansion to St. Velos Hostel with a new upper level of dining, including a corner for entertainers and some new furniture, courtesy of OpenData. And speaking of, you'll also find that a couple of the shops in the lower Wastewigs have also been overhauled with just, a few of these new furniture assets from OpenData. So they now have just a bit more of a unique appearance. But anyway, this is just a pretty neat and certainly atmospheric and gorgeous overhaul for Malag Mall. That comes with BCOM compatibility and just a host of features to just truly make this once generic Canton into a truly unique town. But that's just from all the day. So as always, I've been your host, our Golf Guy. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.